today I will be talking to you about what you should know before you sign your lease. I'm not a lawyer, and if you want legal advice, you should speak to an attorney, but I have created a list of tips based off of my own experiences and research. This video is created specifically for residents of Bloomington, Illinois, and is current as of March 2017. Alright, let's get to the list of things you should know before you sign your lease. The first thing that you should know is there's some information you might need before you sign your lease. For example, you might need a letter of employment on company letterhead, which includes your hire date, your title, your base salary, and bonuses if applicable, and a proof of guaranteed monthly income from other sources such as disability and Social Security. You may also need to provide your most recent tax return and 2 recent bank statements that show your account balance. You may also need to bring 2 recent pay stubs and a photo ID. You may also need a letter of reference from your previous landlord, and of course you should get the application from the landlord you are trying to rent from. The next tip you should know is that you should take a tour of the property that you're thinking about renting with the landlord present. You should check for pre-existing damage and take pictures of the damage and talk to the landlord about getting it fixed before you move in. You need to make sure that everything works. You should check things like the toilet and the sinks and the oven. You should also think about the neighborhood safety and parking availability before you rent. You need to ask the last time that the locks were changed and request them to be changed if they have not been changed since the last tenant lived there. You need to ask the landlord if they will be doing any repairs or maintenance before you move in. For example, they may provide a deep cleaning of the whole apartment, and you should know that before you move in. You need to write up all of the repairs, maintenance, cleaning, and other things that the landlord agrees to do and the date that it will be done by, and have the landlord sign and date this and attach it to your lease before you sign it. The next tip that you should know is that you need to make sure you will be able to afford the rent and other costs every month. You need to find out if utilities are included in the rent price, and make sure that you will be able to afford the place that you are trying to rent. Next, you need to take your time and read everything very carefully. You need to know the consequences of breaking your lease and know when it ends. You need to ask if you have automatic lease renewal as well. You need to ask what the notice period is for your landlord to enter the apartment or the house that you are looking to rent. You need to ask if there is a guest policy, and make sure that you understand all of the words in the lease. If you do not, I will provide a glossary in the description of this video. You need to find out when the rent is due and how and where you pay it. Make sure you pay your rent on time every month. That's very important. The landlord may allow you to pay electronically, and if you pay in person, you need to get a written receipt signed by the landlord for each rental payment. That will be proof in case you get evicted that you have been paying your rent. The next tip is that you should find out how to request maintenance and repairs for the place that you are trying to rent from. You need to ask what is covered by the landlord and what repairs you would be responsible for. You need to ask when the maintenance is available, if it is available 24/7, or if there are only certain times in the day that you can request maintenance. You need to ask about additional rules, such as pet restrictions and fees that come with the pets. You need to ask if you're allowed to paint the walls, drill into the walls, copy keys, and other questions such as those. You need to ask if you are allowed to sublease the apartment or house, and ask if more roommates are allowed to live in your house. The next tip that you should know is that you need to get everything in writing, even verbal agreements, and make sure it is signed by the landlord. This is very important. Make sure you get receipts for everything. You should take pictures and email them to yourself for proof of things like damages and bugs. Make sure that you get to know your landlord and make sure they care about their property. You should search for online reviews of your landlord before you agree to sign the lease. You should also ask if your landlord lives in town or if he lives someplace out of state. That could cause problems in the future, so you should probably look for a landlord who cares about their property and lives close by in case you need help with maintenance or repairs. Those are all the tips that I have for this video. I hope this information can help you. I'll have my sources listed in the description if you want to find more information. Thank you for watching.